I speak now to Ciaran Browne, Assistant Professor of Conflict Resolution and Reconciliation at Trinity College, Dublin. Always good to see you, Brendan. Why is Israel not accepting a deal that would see all hostages returned from Gaza? That's what it's looking for. At least that's what the people of Israel want, don't they?
Yeah, well, thanks as always for your important coverage and for having me join you. I mean, Israel, is it looking for the return of the hostages? I'm not so sure it is. I mean, I haven't seen much evidence of doing all it can to return its captives back into Israel since the beginning of this. And you're right to say that the people on the street in Israel are certainly demanding that that the government do more. And we know that there are very serious divisions and splits within the government on this issue as well. But it's just bewildered. It's completely bewildering and beggars belief to see the sort of reckless approach to these negotiations that we're seeing at this moment in time. But I mean, at the end of the day, this is part of Netanyahu's mission. This is part of his government's mission, which is to try and completely erase the Gaza Strip off the face of the earth. And that is what it is trying to do. And that is what it's being allowed to do by its Western enablers, by those who are literally pouring petrol on the flames of Gaza's tents. It's an absolute disgrace and for shame.
So you think that the policy is still to, and I've referred to this a few times over the past few hours, Brendan, because every time I look at the pictures of Gaza, I'm reminded of the Syrian city of Aleppo, which was bombed so intensely that the resistance groups that were fighting against the regime, they were forced to leave Aleppo because they realized that the Russians and the Syrian regime would kill every civilian in the city. And when I see Gaza, I kind of see maybe the same kind of policy, that it will be so destroyed that actually even if people want to stay, they wouldn't be able to. So is this part of that, what the Israelis call voluntary migration of Palestinians from their land?
I mean, it seems to be. It's hard to argue against that point, to be perfectly honest. When you see these pictures coming out, when you get the information that we're all getting in terms of how inhospitable and how difficult it is to find any sort of way of surviving in Gaza at this moment in time, it's hard to reach any other logical conclusion. I mean, none of us knows exactly what the strategy is here of the Israeli government or of the military, but you can only look at the facts as we see them, targeting civilian infrastructure, targeting hospitals, targeting schools, targeting water desalination plants, targeting distribution centers for humanitarian aid, refusing to allow humanitarian aid in. I mean, the list of genocidal acts goes on and on and on. So I don't think we can reach any other conclusion that other than the fact that the Israeli army is doing all it can to make Gaza hell on earth and to make it completely inhospitable, as I said, to make it completely unlivable. And that seems to be what their policy is, and whether or not they are going to be successful in that, it remains to be seen. I mean, we're 19 months on from the outbreak, or 18 months on from the outbreak since October 7th, 2023, and there are still very many Palestinians there resisting, staying steadfast, staying on the land. So, I mean, it's clearly a policy that isn't working, and it's clearly a policy that I don't believe will work.
Do you think it's a concerted effort by Washington in alliance with Israel to sideline every other international actor, whether that's an individual state or whether it's an organization like the Arab League or the United Nations or the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, to make sure that any deal is only going to come through the Americans and the Israelis?
Well, that's certainly, again, the rhetoric that we've heard, isn't it, coming out of Washington? We've heard these bombastic statements that, we're going to force Palestinians to leave the space. We're going to then go in and rebuild Palestine, or rebuild the Gaza Strip in our image, make it the Riviera on the Mediterranean. And I mean, these are just complete lunacy statements that are made. But again, this is the type of thing that the Trump government and the Trump administration is renowned for. And in regards to whether or not it is intentionally sidelining other nation states, I mean, I think that takes away the agency of those other nation states as well. And they have plenty of that themselves. They could stand up and they could be counted on this. They could enforce the decisions of the International court of justice. They could enforce the decisions of the International Criminal Court, but they are choosing not to. They're choosing to turn their back and refusing to, to implement the decisions that have been made by the highest courts in the land. So it's on them, and I think it's too easy of a pass for them to just say that Washington are sidelining them and not giving them a seat at the table. They could be doing a lot more on this. And for example, there are members of the Israeli government who are who have been implicated in war crimes that are allowed to travel freely through European airspace. I mean, that's completely in contravention to International Criminal Court's decision to bring war crimes charges against Benjamin Netanyahu. So, I mean, there's plenty of a program to go around here, and I wouldn't just say that it's all to do with the fact that America is sidelining.
Brendan, thank you so much for the analysis. Always appreciate it.
Thanks.